Good morning, everybody. Natalie coming to you live. Spirit and coffee. Got my coffee here. Yum. Oh, it says that I'm broadcasting in another live. I'm not sure what that means. Give me just a second. Let's see. Okay. Anywho, I'm not sure what this is talking about. Is that I'm broadcasting in another live stream, and I'm not sure what that means. Okay. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Okay. So things are just getting crazier and crazier and crazier, aren't they? Not sure what is happening in your location. Not sure if you are still on lockdown. Of course. Good morning, Jose. People, where I am, they're extending our isolation. They're extending, what it is that they want. Good morning, Suze. Um, and so now they're extending it. Um, and a lot of, here's the thing, the human condition is quite interesting, right? We as humans, it's so easy to fall into our ego self. It's so easy to fall into the fear. It's so easy to forget love, kindness, compassion, um, forgiveness. And it's so easy to want to blame somebody or put your anger towards somebody, or say foul things or hurtful things to people, because our ego sometimes just boom pops up and we don't even realize it's there, and we want to point fingers, right? Well, it's Trump, it's this person, it's that person, it's you, it's the neighbor, it's the whoever it is, we want to point fingers. And really, it's nobody, you guys. It's not a person. It's this energy that can be so dark and so heavy that at times it feels like you don't know where to go and you don't know what to do. And then you want to just escape in some way, right? And we have people who escape through suicide. We have people who escape through drugs. We have people who run away and move from location to location, me being that person, where we want to escape, and now we can't escape the ego. The ego right now is talking so loud at us right now. The ego is doing everything um in its power to keep us in a place of fear, and also in a place of anger and frustration, and treating people very illy. Okay, now here's the deal. Is it easy to overcome these things? No, because we've never been taught, well, most people haven't been taught how to handle these emotions, and now we're being forced to. Okay, so I want to talk about this, and I'm going to talk about this because I got these pretty crazy comments on. I did a video, right, and there was protests happening, and you know me, I'm totally authentic. I'll tell you everything. Um, and there was these protests happening, and I had wanted to find out who was doing protests, and I got some people who wanted to lash out at me, right? Oh, you're this, you're that, you're dumb, you're an idiot, whatever they want to call me, right? And I said, okay, fine, whatever you think you want to think is okay, go ahead and think of me. Not understanding or asking me questions. Why did you engage in this? Or why do you have those beliefs? Or what is it? And I said, ask me the questions. Good morning, Bestie. Good morning, Doreen. And I shall tell you my beliefs. Now, one thing that I want you guys to truly understand on this platform, do not listen to everything I say, right? Because this individual, oh, you're leading people, I don't know, they were saying some crazy stuff, right? And I had to say, okay, well, let me self-reflect and see, what message am I giving to people? Language is really our only form of communication to kind of articulate the phenomena that's happening around us, in order to educate ourselves, in order to be creative and co-create with God. We know this. Sometimes my language isn't perfect, right? Sometimes I have to correct myself even when I'm in the midst of talking. I'm saying, okay, wait, no, let me rephrase that and use better language. Now, I don't have every single word in the dictionary remembered, and perhaps there are other words that would better describe the phenomena coming on or around us. But here's the deal. Don't listen to me as though I have the answers. This is what I told the person. I'm not telling people, I'm not giving answers. I have questions. Now, I will give you some wisdom, and some shared understanding of what I believe. Now go do your own research. It's what I urge you to do on your own all the time. I don't have all the answers. I've said this over and over again. I don't have answers. I have a lot of questions, very curious. I have my own personal connection with God. That is what you guys get to do for yourself. Be a free thinker. Now, I think I'm going to get backlash on this from Facebook because this was definitely a troll. And I'm definitely going to probably get more backlash because why? Because right now I want to teach you guys information that I wouldn't have taught you before on social media, on a social platform, but it's critical now. And this information, they don't want you to know it. And by they, I mean the people that are in control. Why? Because they don't want free thinkers. Okay, they don't want free thinkers. They want people to listen to what they're telling them without doing their own research, without coming up or formulating their own ideas. Okay, they don't want that. And then they'll of course the ego, and I'm going to say the ego. Let's not say people. The ego will trick you by using counterattacks, right? There are these tricky things that happen with the ego like, "Oh, you want to open the economy. Are you saying you don't care about the elderly? Every life matters." No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is people who take care of their immune system, people who take care of their God-given vessel, are not at risk for this. Does that mean that the people that are not don't deserve to? No, that's not what that means. It means that those people can isolate themselves if they choose to. But the people that are healthy and strong and will actually get immunity on their own can be out and about doing their thing. So here's the deal. That's my way of thinking. Am I going to force that upon you guys? No. You want to wear masks? Go ahead. You want to wear gloves? Go ahead. If you feel like it's protecting you, if you feel like you're protected, do it. Do some research. Do some research, though. Most people will just wear a mask and gloves because they're told, not because they don't even know why. Some people don't even know why. They're just doing it because they're going to do it. It's just like pop culture. Someone will listen to a song and say, "This song is awesome." And then everybody starts to follow suit. And before you know it, the whole world's listening to the song. And then there's one individual that listens to it and goes, "What is this? Look, have you listened to the words to this song?" It's no. And then other people are like, "Yeah, but I like it, because the masses like it." So really just be a free thinker for yourself. Okay. That's what this is about. Life is about us formulating our own ideas about the phenomena that's happening around us. Now, can I see this whole situation from 500 billion different angles? Yes, I can. And I can morph my ideas and the way that I engage the situation based on new information. I'm not 100% stuck to one way of thinking about this thing. Okay. But I will collect data. I will listen to people's opinions and I will formulate my own. And that's your right. You get to do that. Okay. Because you have your vessel, which is owned by who? God, and it's yours. God said, "Here, you have a body. Okay, it's your property. It's the only thing we own. We don't own anything, you guys. That's the big, big kicker. We don't own anything. Okay. So let's see, Suze. Okay, I wanted to get to you, Suze, but I have to go on a little rant here. Sorry I missed yesterday. Heard you though. Good morning. Happy coffee. Yes. I'm so sorry. People can be ignorant. Yeah. And I don't know that and it could be ignorance, but I also think that trolls show up to derail you or to see if you are going to stay on your game. Um, and the reality is that I love even the trolls, even the ones who will throw stones. And I follow the word of God. That's what I was trying to say is, look, you guys follow the word of God. God is your remedy. Somebody are using PP as an accessory when those of us are actually need the gloves and mask for work. Yeah, are in ration. Yes, absolutely. And they are making other sort of masks that are more accessorized, which I feel like it's becoming pop culture right now, because some of those masks don't necessarily, it won't support you. There's certain masks that you need to have, and so for those medical providers that really need them, and especially in situations where it is an environment where they're like doing surgery and they have to be careful. So yes, um, that is a huge factor, Doreen, and thank you for bringing that up. And I love that you come from the medical world and that you're always speaking up on that, on behalf of that. Like I said, I can see it from different angles. I have compassion for all people, compassion even for, you know the business owners that want to open up, and some people are afraid. I have compassion for those people. We can have compassion for everybody in this situation, right? It's we don't have all the answers. Now I have different ways of seeing things and communicating it. At the end of the day, I bring it back to love, and sometimes it's hard because the ego's story, the ego's last grab to hold on to people is to come at every angle. And I want to say that this angle, we're at the precipice of change, right? Where we have come to a head, all right, a head. It's almost like that. So I'm going to tell you something. It might be kind of gross, but I'm going to explain it in this way. It's like a pimple, right? Like we feel it there. It's kind of hurting, but we know that it hasn't come to a head, right? It's not ready to come out. The pressure's building up underneath, okay? Or we can say a volcano, sort of the same thing. Um, the pressure that builds up. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Yolanda. I don't know who else is on here. Good morning to you guys. But the pressure starts to build, and it hurts, right? We have this pressure, it builds, and it's kind of like, oh my God, it hurts. Please just come out, right? And then before you know it, it comes out, it comes to a head, and then it either pops on its own, or we apply more pressure, and then it comes out. Okay. And then it pops out. So think of the era that we're in, the time frame that we're in, is that everything right now has come to a head. Everything all at once. Pretty crazy, right? I mean, it's pretty um interesting how everything right now has come to a head. We have our economic system come to a head. We have our religious people, that's coming to a head. We have the leaders, in world leaders, all of that coming to a head. So politics, we have so economics, we have even agriculture, um, all of these big entities, all, even our pharmacy, our medical, sorry, field, all of that stuff's coming to a head, right? We're seeing chaos and destruction in all of those places. Okay. Now, as within, so without, we talked about, I think about a couple years ago, I was talking about the destruction of Mother Nature coming to destroy and destruct in chaos if we didn't do something different. Now, here's the deal. It's very cool because we are doing something different now. The difference is we're not out there, you know, well, and I can't say this for certain. I don't know if people are still drilling and burning down the forest and making roads where, taking down the trees. I don't know exactly what's happening everywhere, okay? But from what my understanding is there's a lot of things that have stopped in manufacturing and stuff and goods and all this. Now, there's two pronged sides to this, right? And this is where the ego's getting us. There's a good side to it in that the earth itself is starting to replenish and starting to make itself beautiful again. And Mother Nature's showing us her beauty. Okay. The skies are blue. I live by the zoo. I can even hear the animals going crazy, more than they have before, probably because they can breathe because they're not pollution in the air. Um, but there's all this beauty that's starting to arise. Now, here's the cool thing. That's a good part of it. Okay. Now, on the human part, it's the human survival part that is getting us. That's the part where the ego's tricking us, right? Because everybody right now wants to survive. Okay. Everybody wants to live. Everybody wants to make sure that their family and their kids and their grandkids and their self are that they get through this, that they're taken care of, that they're okay through this time. Now, we will put ourselves first because it's a natural thing to do. Human survival is natural. Okay? That's natural. We want to survive as a species. And we do get those things. Well, what about the elderly? Every life matters. Of course every life matters. But people die, and that's part of the process. Do we want them to die? No. I've had people die that I didn't want to die. I've had people go away that I didn't want to go away, and it hurt every day, and it still does. I think about it all the time. I think, what if something happened to the people I love? What would I do? I'd go crazy. Of course I would. I love my people. I don't want them to go. We haven't learned to understand the process of death unless we go through it, right? It's like pulling off the band-aid and it's like, oh my God, that hurt. But we've all gone through loss. Suffering is part of something that we go through. I mean, that is part of life. And yes, every life matters, but we cannot stop death, right? It's like we are not the ones to determine. That is God. That is up to God. We can't determine who lives and who doesn't. I mean, there's certain things that people do in harm, like homicide, suicide, all of these things that happen. It, um, accidents happen where people don't mean to. All these things happen in death, right? And we've had, mass death, war, whatever. Um, happened, right? And really, we don't. I mean, do we really talk about that? Like, I know we say war, stuff like that, but if every life mattered, would we have war? If every life mattered, would we be okay with soldiers going out there and killing people? I don't think so. I think that we would say, right, we would say that we love every life and that we shouldn't be, putting guns in children's hands and asking them to do things or be mortars and blow ourselves up and harm other people. But yet this happens, right? This is part of the story. These are facts. I'm not giving you guys anything that you don't know already exists. War exists, famine exists, all these things exist. They do. Do we want them to exist? No. I would say that most people in the world don't want these things to exist. Okay? That most people they want harmony and peace and love, and they want to be able to hug people and love freely without being made wrong to love freely. But yet we're looking at a world right now where we're afraid of death, right? They're using these propagandas to make us afraid of something. Of course every life matters. The elderly, of course we don't want them to perish. But you know what? I've talked to older people who are like, I'm ready to go. I've been here long enough. I've seen enough. There are probably elderly out there that are so frightened right now. I couldn't even imagine because they don't know what's going on. They've been taught about revelations. It sort of looks like revelations that we're in, right, guys? It kind of looks like that. And they've been taught this their whole life, and they're probably like, take me. You don't know what's going through their head, right? We can't say that we know how people are taking this and the elderly are taking this. It'd be nice to have an elderly person get on here and say, and have them talk about what their feelings are, right? That would be cool. Someone who's 80, 90 years old to tell us what they feel. They might think we're crazy right now, but I haven't heard from them. I would love to hear from them. They don't know about technology, maybe. They don't know about Facebook Live. They ain't on Facebook. We don't know what they're thinking or and so having compassion for all life, yes. Okay, of course. Also having compassion for the release of life too, because that's part of the process. We're all going to go through it, you guys. No one escapes death. No one. Nobody. Now, what's going to happen after this? I don't know. The thing is that we right now are in pause. Okay, we're in pause. I'm going to call it a timeout. We're in a timeout. Mother Earth is starting to restore herself. Love it. Great thing, right? Good morning, Betty. It's an amazing thing that we have the Mother Earth to restore herself. Okay, now what's going to happen after that is to be said, is to be determined. We don't know, right? We can sort of guess, we can kind of look at what these world leaders are doing to think, what are they going to force upon us? Right now, we are silently accepting what they're giving us. Okay, I mean, some people are protesting. Now, I love it. I love that people protest. Remember, I love everything. Now, people say, well, how do you love this and that? How could you be one way? You either need to choose or not choose. No, I choose God. I choose love. And when I choose God and choose love, that means I can love everything no matter what. I can sit back and love even the people that are protesting. Some people are protesting in the name of Trump. Okay. Would I go protest in the name of Trump? No. I'll protest in the name of God. I would love for people to start standing up and leading a God protest. Like leading a God protest. Like, let's get back to God. Let's get back to God. Why aren't we putting God on all the channels? Why aren't we talking about the creator, the one? Why is it okay for the masses to watch junk TV and not watch God on every channel? Why can't we tune into that? And it doesn't have to be someone preaching, okay? But it could be nature, and it could just be nature and the wind. We could do that for ourselves, but why don't they put that on TV? The animals coming and going. That's God. I mean, they have the nature shows and stuff like that, right? That tell you about the different animals and how they behave and all that. Okay, so can we put that on TV all day? And meditation music and passages that make sense, that bring us back to love and compassion. I talked to my mom yesterday and I said, look, here's the deal. People will say this and that, okay? Now, do I understand everything? No. Do I know everything? No. In fact, I know nothing. I'm a fool, okay? And as the fool, I'm constantly open to new ideas, new ways of looking at the world, new information to understand how to engage God's creation, right? There's so much that God gave us on this planet to create with, so much to look at, so much to understand, so much to engage in. That we humans have overcomplicated everything. It's so hard. Humans are so hard. They're gonna be so difficult. Why can't we just love each other? I just don't. But okay, that doesn't work that way. That's not humans work. Humans don't work just that way. We have needs. We have our selfish needs and all that good stuff, right? Okay. Good morning, Nina. So I was talking to my mom and I said, look, it would be awesome if God was on every channel. Okay. Every channel, all the time. But they're not. And God is not. And people forget. They get amnesia pretty quickly, right? We do. We get amnesia real quick. And we forget over and over. And we have to remember every day God, 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 and keep coming back and keep coming back and keep coming back, right? But if God was on every channel, that'd be amazing. And I'm not talking a preacher and somebody, preaching and all that. I'm talking about like being out in nature, you know, having your own personal internal conversations with God every day, all day, getting to figure out what God means to you. How are you engaging in God? What is that relationship for you? Is it working for you? What are your beliefs around it? What do you understand about God? All those things, right? Those bigger questions. Who am I? What is my purpose and function in the world? Those are the godly channels that I'm talking about. Okay. And to be in that and to be so, so obsessed with that, that it's on your mind all the time. Okay. That's putting it on every channel. Now, it's not, because we get amnesia and then we're doing our thing and then we watch whatever we watch. And okay, so we do these things, but then we come back to God. And here's the deal. I told my mom, but if a ship came, let's just say a ship came, okay? And this is how, and I don't believe God is this way, but this is just for understanding in some way. Let's say a ship came and it was a ship and it was God, and God said, okay, I'm taking the people who've had my channel on all the time, at least all the time. I'm taking them because they can hear me, they can see me, but everybody else can't see me because they didn't tune in. They're not tuned in. It's not that I don't love them. They're just not tuned into the channel. And then all these people get taken up, and the ones that didn't believe, or the ones that never wanted to tune in, or, whatever, then they're all of a sudden want to tune in to the channel. And then they're on their knees. And it's like, what if God said, well, here, you guys get to stay in this place that you created, which is almost like it's like a prison at this point. So we are creating the hell, is what I'm saying. Not God. God isn't creating the hell around us. We are. We're so complicated. Why? Why? Why do we have to be so complicated? Why can't we just love? Why can't we just lock arms, love one another? Because why? Well, there's a lot of things. I can say one thing is good morning, Danny. Good morning, Minister Anthony Walker. Good morning, Abby. Good morning, Oni. Good morning, I am T. LaRose. Good morning, Lion. Good morning, Hasma. Good morning. Good morning, Robert. Okay. So we are complex, right? And the reason that we are so complex, right, is because when we start to look at the timelines, and I sort of like this dispositionalist theory, our understanding, okay? Now, is in the beginning, right, there was the fall of innocence. And we say, well, what is the fall of innocence? Well, really, the fall of innocence is the fact that we looked at the world as a duality, and consciousness started to come in. We started to say and question who we were, especially within the realm of all of this, right? We're like, who are we? What are we? Where do we come from? Why do we here? La, 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 all that kind of stuff, right? And so we started to question these bigger things. And then we sort of fell from what we called was grace, right? But then we stepped into suffering, and suffering is this sort of, we believe that everything is a duality. We see things as a duality, and that has caused the greatest suffering. We see things as black and white, and we want to put ourselves into a one box or the other. And if we're in the, so let's just, I'm going to break it down very, very simplistic. If I'm in the white box and you're in the black box, we cannot agree. Okay, that's what it tells us. And so we're going to fight, because we're trying to fight for the white box to come over to the black box. We're trying to get those people over, or opposite, right? Vice versa. Okay. And we're going to argue until we try to get our point across. Now, we only argue for certain reasons. We only argue to look right, to feel good, to look right, to be right, right? Or because we feel like we're not enough, or we're not being heard. For what reason do we need to argue? But we can't see that the black and the white are part of one whole thing, right? That we can't. We have to separate it. The separation is the issue. Adam and Eve became two separate beings. They were one, and then they became separate. Man and women. Men and women have arguments all the time. Men are like this, women are like that. No, we're actually 99.9% the same, and there's some differences in maybe hormonal and our anatomy. But to say that the brain is different, yeah, we might see the phenomena different, but we're more alike than not. We're all programmed. We're all patterns. We're all patterns. We all have fear. We all have love. We all have, we're all experiencing this thing together. Humans are more alike than they're not. But the suffering comes in the idea that there's this separation. Now, I was talking about the crown, right? And I don't know if Susie's still on here. And I talked about the virus and the poisonous crown and all that. Now, we want to view that as separate, but it's not. It's one. It's a reminder to bring you back to God. Find your way back to God, and you will find your answer. God, the answer is in the Word of God. And for those who are so passionate about understanding it and knowing it, God will give you your answers through other individuals, through readings, through teachings, through your wisdom, through you recognizing the phenomena around you, and for you thinking critically. So please, you guys, use the logic that I gave you. Use that. Utilize it for your own comprehension. Utilize it for your own understanding and engagement of the information. Do your own research. Learn to be a free thinker, a critical thinker. People who can think critically are their worst enemy. Who? The egos. The ego doesn't want you to know. The ego wants you to think that you're a slave to it. The ego wants you to think that you should bow to it. So again, grammar, look at the words that are being utilized. Listen to these leaders, and if there's a word you don't understand, or if you're kind of like, wait, that doesn't sound right, start to ponder on that a little bit. Think a little bit on it. Listen to what they're really saying. There's an underlying message. The intention will be revealed through the word of a person. Now, their behavior is another thing, right? Because words and behaviors should match. If they don't, then you know their intention is through their action, but they speak first. So listen to the words, then watch their actions. And then it'll give you a kind of an idea. Oh, okay. I see where this person's coming from. I understand now, right? Grammar, logic, rhetoric. Grammar is recognizing the words. Words are symbols that create to articulate the phenomena around us, what we see, how we're exploring what we've experienced, our senses, how we feel and engage with the material world. That's what words are. They're symbols. Okay. Gematria is another one you can look into. Look at all these things. Look at the etymologies of the words. Go and define words. Start to look at the words. How are the words shaping the phenomena that we see around us? Because they are your thought patterns. Then look into the logic. Logic is there are dichotomies that exist, meaning where is the duality? Where is the distinction between this? How come it's this and that? It can't be this and that, or can it be this and that? And how does this operate from that? Looking at the cause and the effect of things, right? Understanding that there is a duality that we experience doesn't make it true, but it allows us to choose. And then it allows us to use rhetoric, which is our own formulated ideas about the phenomena we see around us. That is the beauty of the work. Can it change? Yes. Do I change my ideas? Yes. Am I the same person I was yesterday? No. Am I going to be the same person 5 years from now? No. I am going to engage life as God gives it to me. Let God lead you. Let God show you. Pray, God, give me the answers, please. God, I am so in love with you. I just, please support me through this. Show me, and it will be revealed to you. God will reveal it to you, and it becomes your truth. Not the truth as in capital T, but your truth as in I have my truth, you have your truth. I honor the truth that you believe as you honor the truth that I believe. And that's really all that matters, is that we honor one another's truth. No need. I mean, I will go on a tangent about these things that happen because I have another purpose beyond this, right? That I know it's sacred for me. But Spirit and Coffee really honestly is a platform for you guys to open your eyes for yourself, to get in tune with who you are, to tap into your relationship with God. I cannot give that to you. That is not, I'm not here to do that. I can't. There's no way I can. I don't live in your body. You live in your body. Start creating that relationship. I'm sure you already have it. Strengthen that relationship. Make that relationship more important than any other relationship you have. And you will always find refuge. You will always be taken care of. God will always be there for you. Never abandon you. Ever, 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 ever. In a billion, gazillion, trillion years. Ever. But you've got to believe and have faith. That's not anything I can give you. You've got to give that to yourself. So again, when trolls are as trolls show up, which is fine. We love them anyway. I continue to love and hold a sacred space for every individual. Everybody's being impacted by this. Most people don't know what information to listen to. It's going to get more confusing on what to pay attention to and what to believe because the ego's fight to survive is very, very powerful. And it's so ingrained in everybody that the ego will continue to fight for survival. But remember that you are God and that the ego cannot win because God is all, right? And the ego won't win. But to fight the ego, to stand up as a warrior against the ego is not an easy task. It's really not. And it starts with baby steps. So basically looking at your ego and accepting that you have one. That's step one. Learn to deal with yours. I'm learning to deal with mine because trust me, my ego, I can get amnesia very quickly. And I'm like, wait, what's going on? No, that's the ego. Stop. Pause. Ego, not today. God, please lead this. God, come into my heart and put the ego in check for me, please, because I can't do it, but God can. God is your remedy over and over and over again. Okay. So I love you guys. Have a fantastic day. If you guys need anything, any support, anything like that, let me know. I'm going to be doing a live video. Hopefully, if it works with the technology that I have, which I probably need to upgrade my technology. Then I will be doing a interview with a beautiful one of our leaders here. She's so cute. She's a fitness coach, and she really, I think she has such a sweet heart. You know, her heart is sweet, and she really wants to help people get healthy and stay healthy. And I think right now, building your immunity, if you focus on anything right now, focus on building your immunity, eat some healthy foods, go back to the simple way of living, you know, where, you know, you eat veggies and fruits and all that, and build your immunity. That's what's important right now. Take care of the vessel God has given you. Okay. So I love you guys. I will be seeing you tomorrow. I want to dive into this disposition stuff, which I will. I just get to do more research and sort of understand it a little bit deeper before I try to explain it, because I just barely dropped into this new whole set of wisdom or information. So I need to figure out how does it relate to where we are at this point, and then I can give you guys some insight, and then you guys go do your own research. It's called dispositional. It is a guy who put the sort of the kind of the Bible and these eras in time under administrative function, which I like, because it's like, well, who's going to be in the administrative role to dictate how this goes, right? And now we're in a phase where it's sort of playing out the way the charts are written out. So it's kind of cool. It gives us an idea, opens our eyes a little bit more, and it also gives us the hope to know, and we do know that God always wins. So when we choose God, we win. So choose God, okay? So I love you guys. Have the most magical, blessed, beautiful day ever. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.